Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something powerful. When was the last time you truly focused on yourself? Not your to-do list, not your inbox, not the expectations of others, but you, your thoughts, your energy, your direction. In a world that constantly pulls at your attention, it's easy to lose sight of the one person you have complete control over, yourself. But here's the truth. Nothing changes until you do. When you start tuning out the noise and turning inward, when you begin to take back control of your focus and energy, that's when everything begins to shift. Not because the world got easier, but because you got sharper, calmer, more intentional. Today, we're diving into why focusing on yourself isn't selfish, it's necessary. And if you want to unlock clarity, confidence, and lasting growth, it all starts right here with the choice to reclaim your energy and direct it where it truly belongs. What if you directed that same energy inward to focus on yourself, to break free from old habits, and to step into a better version of your life? Because when you change your focus, you shift your energy. And when your energy shifts, your life begins to change. Today, I want to guide you through a journey of personal growth, transformation, and stepping into the best version of who you are. The person you're meant to become is simply waiting for your attention. Wherever your attention goes, your energy follows. Every thought you have, every emotion you feel, every belief you hold, they're all directing your energy toward a particular outcome. The issue is that many people don't realize what they're truly focused on. They may believe they're aiming for growth or success, but their minds are often caught up in the past, in fear, self-doubt, or the opinions of others. Their energy is spread in too many directions, which leaves them feeling exhausted, uninspired, or trapped in the same cycles. Year after year, this continues because the human brain is wired for survival, and it clings to what's familiar, even if it's limiting or painful. If you wake up each day thinking the same thoughts, feeling the same emotions, and repeating the same actions, you're reinforcing the same reality. Your brain is a record of the past. If left unchecked, it runs on autopilot, keeping your life in a constant loop. To break free, you must become aware of where your attention is going. Think of your focus like a powerful beam of light. When that light is diffused, spread across too many things, it loses its strength. It can't bring about change. But when it's directed and concentrated, it becomes powerful enough to cut through anything. Your energy works the same way. If you constantly dwell on your fears or limitations, you're feeding those realities. But when you focus on growth, on new opportunities, on who you want to become, you're shifting your energy toward transformation. The challenge is most people don't realize how much energy they're spending on things that don't help them. They get stuck reliving past mistakes, replaying old conversations, worrying about imagined outcomes, and comparing themselves to others. Every time this happens, they're giving their energy to a reality that doesn't align with their highest potential. If you truly want to grow, you have to take responsibility for where your energy is going. The first step is awareness. Start by noticing your thoughts throughout the day. Are they aligned with the future you want, or do they keep you trapped in your old self? Pay attention to how you feel when you focus on certain things. If you feel drained, small, or locked in stress and doubt, that's a sign your energy is misplaced. When your focus is aligned, you feel stronger, motivated, and more in control. Many people think they need external changes to shift their focus, but that's not the case. It's not about what happens around you. It's about what's going on inside you. Two people can be in the exact same situation, yet one feels powerless and the other feels limitless. The difference lies in where they place their attention. The person who feels stuck is focused on limitations, on what's wrong. The one who feels free is focused on solutions, on growth, and on what's possible. Your energy follows your focus. This is why people who dwell on negativity often find more negativity in their lives. It's not that life is unfair to them, it's that their focus is shaping their experience. If you keep repeating thoughts like nothing works out for me, people always disappoint me, or success is out of reach, you're reinforcing that narrative with your energy. And since your brain looks for proof of what you believe, you'll keep finding evidence to confirm those beliefs. But the same principle can work in your favor. The moment you shift your focus, you redirect your energy. If you focus on gratitude instead of lack, you start to feel more abundant. Focus on progress instead of failure, and you begin to feel more capable. Focus on growth instead of fear, and you tap into a sense of personal power. Your external situation may not change right away, but your inner world will. And that's where real transformation begins. Most people want to see results before they believe change is possible, but that's not how energy works. First, you must focus on the outcome you want, stay focused on it, and soon your external world will begin to shift in response. It won't happen overnight, and it takes discipline. Your mind is attached to old patterns, and it will try to pull you back into familiar thinking, but each time you deliberately redirect your focus to your growth, your goals, and your best self, you begin to rewire your brain for a different future. Taking full control of your focus also means cutting out the distractions that drain your energy. It means being deliberate about the conversations you take part in, the content you absorb, and the people you keep close. It means understanding that every moment offers a choice: to direct your energy toward your purpose or to waste it on things that hold you back. Most people never fully take control of their focus, and as a result, they never truly take control of their lives. But those who do, those who learn to manage their attention, their emotions, and their energy, become unstoppable. Breaking free from the past begins with recognizing how the mind clings to old experiences, emotions, and identities that no longer serve your growth. Every painful memory, regret, or disappointment reinforces a mental pattern shaping an identity based on what has already happened rather than what's still possible. Many people live reactively, stuck in a loop of familiar emotions and behaviors that keep them anchored to the past. The brain seeks comfort in what's known, even when that comfort is built on hardship, limitation, or pain. Each morning, the mind recalls who you were the day before, bringing up familiar thoughts and emotional states you've come to expect. You may start your day already carrying the weight of old failures, past hurts, and previous setbacks, automatically setting the tone for your day. Emotions are the body's language. When you constantly relive the same emotional states, your body develops a dependency on them. If you've lived in frustration, sadness, or anger for years, your body gets used to those feelings, even if they're harmful. Your brain then creates thoughts to match those emotions, keeping the cycle going. So even when you think you're making conscious choices, you may just be replaying an old program built from your past. The only way to move forward is to become aware of these patterns. Each time you revisit a painful memory, dwell on a mistake, or define yourself by what already happened, you're reinforcing the identity tied to your past. But the past has no real control over you unless you keep giving it attention. The key is to move your focus from who you were to who you want to become. The brain can't tell the difference between something real and something vividly imagined. So when you mentally relive the past, your brain and body react as if it's happening now. The same stress chemicals are released, the same emotions return, and the same neural connections are reinforced. But you can use this same process to your advantage. Rather than replaying old experiences, train your mind and body to align with your future self, the version of you that you want to grow into. It's not enough to say you want change, you must begin to live it. You have to think, feel, and act like the person you're becoming even before you see external results. That's where most people struggle. They wait for visible change before they commit, but transformation starts internally. You must first shift your mindset before your world reflects it. The past will try to pull you back. It will remind you of mistakes, of limitations you once believed, and of the identity you've carried for years. But just because those thoughts appear doesn't mean you need to follow them. Every time you choose to focus on the future instead of your old identity, you reduce the influence of your past. The brain is neuroplastic. It can be rewired. Old neural pathways can be removed and new ones formed, but only if you commit to directing your focus toward growth. One of the most effective ways to detach from the past is to change your environment and your habits. Your surroundings often trigger thoughts and behaviors that reinforce the old version of yourself. If you wake up in the same place, follow the same routine, speak with the same people, and consume the same media, you're strengthening the same identity, but small changes like taking a new route, reading different books, or practicing mindfulness send signals to your brain that something new is beginning. The more you break away from routine, the more space you create for change. Your past only defines you if you let it. Too many people carry their history like a burden, letting it shape their self-worth and limit their possibilities. But the past is just a collection of events. It's not your identity. Your identity is created by who you choose to be now. In this moment, the only thing tying you to the past is your own attachment to it. The moment you let go, the moment you shift your attention from what was to what could be, you begin to reclaim your power. When you stop feeding old wounds with energy, they begin to fade. When you stop defining yourself by what went wrong, you make space for new possibilities. When you stop waiting for proof of change and begin living as if that change has already happened, your reality starts to transform. The past is just a memory held in the mind, and it only carries power if you keep fueling it. True transformation begins when you make your future more important than your history. And you start living in alignment with that future. Your energy is your most valuable asset. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, and every action you take is either building up or draining that energy. Yet most people move through life without really noticing where their energy is going. They wake up and instantly start reacting to the world, checking their phones, answering messages, worrying about things beyond their control, allowing outside events to shape their inner state. This constant reactivity uses up their energy before the day has even begun, leaving them feeling tired, unmotivated, and out of touch with their full potential. And energy isn't just about physical stamina, it also includes your mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. The way you think influences your energy. Negative thoughts, constant overthinking, self-doubt, and worry all drain large amounts of mental energy, reducing your capacity for focus, creativity, and clarity. How you feel shapes the quality of your energy. If you're often stressed, irritated, or holding on to resentment, your body uses energy just to maintain those emotional states, making you feel exhausted even if you haven't done much. And the way you interact with the world either restores or drains your energy. Getting caught up in drama, staying around toxic people, or overcommitting to things that don't align with your values, all of this depletes your life force. Many people think they're tired because of external reasons, long work days, daily responsibilities, or lack of sleep, but more often than not, they're tired because of how they're managing their energy. You can rest your body, but if your mind stays overactive with stress and worry, you never truly recover. Reason many people feel stuck isn't a lack of effort, but that their energy is being spent just maintaining the status quo instead of driving growth or change. The first step in reclaiming that energy is awareness. Start noticing what drains you and what renews you. Pay attention to the conversations that leave you feeling depleted versus those that uplift you. Compare how you feel after scrolling social media to how you feel after spending time in nature or deep work. Notice how certain thoughts cause different sensations in your body. The more aware you become, the easier it is to make intentional decisions about where your energy flows. Everything you do is either an investment in your energy or a cost to it. When you engage in work aligned with your purpose, you feel more energized. When you build habits that strengthen your mind and body, you become more resilient. When you eliminate distractions and prioritize what matters most, your energy rises. But when you spend time on negative thoughts, unnecessary stress, or meaningless distractions, you diminish your ability to create meaningful change. Your energy is also strongly influenced by your beliefs and emotions. If you believe life is a constant struggle or that you're not capable of achieving what you want, you carry an emotional weight that holds you back. If you cling to old anger, resentment, or guilt, you're leaking energy into moments that no longer exist. Energy follows attention, and if your focus is stuck in the past or absorbed by negativity, you're giving away your most vital resource. One powerful way to change your energy is to shift your inner dialogue. The words and thoughts you repeat to yourself affect how you feel and how you show up each day. If you're always telling yourself you're tired, stuck, or overwhelmed, you reinforce that state. But if you begin to speak to yourself with words of strength, possibility, and resilience, you align your energy with the future you're aiming to build. Breathwork, movement, and meditation are also key tools for managing your energy. Your breath is directly tied to your nervous system, and intentional breathing can help move you from stress into calm. Movement, whether it's exercise, stretching, or even a walk, releases stagnant energy and builds vitality. Meditation and mindfulness help you clear mental noise so you can focus your energy rather than scatter it. Protecting your energy also involves setting boundaries. Not everyone is entitled to your time, your attention, or your emotional space. If you constantly allow others to drain you with negativity, demands, or emotional weight, you'll have little energy left for yourself. Learning to say no, stepping away from unhealthy environments, and making your well-being a priority isn't selfish, it's essential. You can't give your best to others when you're running on empty. One of the most powerful ways to shift your energy is to take full responsibility for it. No one else controls how you feel, what you think, or where your attention goes. You choose what you give your energy to. The moment you stop blaming outside circumstances and start managing your internal state, you become truly empowered. Energy is the foundation of everything. When you learn to manage your energy, you gain control over your life. Your focus is a form of power. Wherever your attention goes, your energy follows, and whatever you consistently focus on grows. Many people don't realize how their focus is being pulled in countless directions every day. From the moment they wake up, their minds are flooded with distractions, notifications, news, social media, and the never-ending demands of life. They end up living reactively instead of intentionally, giving their attention to things that drain them, distract them, and keep them stuck in repetitive cycles. But focus is a skill, and like any skill, it can be developed. The challenge is that most people have trained themselves to be easily distracted. Their minds jump from one thought to the next, constantly shifting from one concern to another, never fully present in the moment, and never engage in what truly matters. When your mind is scattered, your energy is scattered. And when energy is scattered, progress becomes difficult. A major reason people struggle to meet their goals isn't due to a lack of intelligence, talent, or resources. It's a lack of focus. They stretch themselves too thin, chase too many things at once, and end up distracted, wondering why they aren't getting results. The most successful individuals in the world aren't necessarily the most gifted, they're the most focused. They know how to shut out distractions. They concentrate their energy on what truly matters. They understand that success doesn't come from doing more. It comes from doing the right things with full intention and attention. They don't let their environment control them. They shape their environment. They're not constantly reacting to everything around them. They're choosing deliberately where their attention goes. Reclaiming your focus starts with becoming aware. Begin observing where your attention flows throughout the day. Every time you check your phone out of habit, get involved in drama that doesn't concern you, or let your mind drift into negative thoughts, you're reinforcing a state of distraction. But once you become aware, you regain control. You can begin making intentional decisions about where your focus belongs. One of the biggest threats to focus is multitasking. The mind isn't wired to handle several things at once effectively. When you switch between tasks, you don't become more productive, you actually lose momentum. Each shift in focus takes mental energy, reducing your efficiency. Instead of doing many things with half attention, train yourself to do one thing with full presence. When you work, be fully engaged in your work. When you rest, rest without distractions. When you're with loved ones, be fully present. The more you strengthen your ability to focus on one task at a time, the more powerful and effective you become. Another way to sharpen your focus is to reduce distractions. Your environment greatly influences your ability to concentrate. If you're surrounded by noise, clutter, and constant interruptions, your mind will reflect that disarray. If you allow every notification, every message, and every bit of unnecessary input to reach you, your focus will remain fragmented. Take ownership of your surroundings. Create a space that supports deep concentration. Remove anything that pulls you away from your priorities. Your internal state also plays a big role in your focus. When your mind is clouded with stress, anxiety, or worry, it's difficult to stay present. This is why tools like meditation, conscious breathing, and journaling are so valuable. They help clear mental clutter so you can engage with each moment from a place of clarity and intention. A calm mind is a focused mind. If you want to improve your focus, the first step is to take care of your mental state. Discipline is also essential. You won't always feel motivated to do what needs to be done, but if you only act when you feel like it, you'll never reach your full potential. Discipline is what keeps you committed. When motivation fades, it's discipline that keeps you aligned with your goals, even when distractions arise. And like any strength, discipline is built through repetition. The more you train yourself to stay focused, the stronger that focus becomes. Managing your energy is equally important. If you're constantly tired, ignoring your body's needs, and running on empty, your ability to concentrate will decline. The brain needs energy to function well, and without proper fuel, from balanced nutrition, restful sleep, and regular movement, your mind can't remain sharp. The stronger your physical health, the sharper your focus. If your focus shapes your reality, then what you choose to focus on will determine what you experience. Focus on problems and problems multiply. Focus on possibilities and opportunities begin to appear. If you constantly think about what's missing in your life, you'll feel like something is always lacking. But if you focus on growth, gratitude, and solutions, your entire mindset changes. It's not the world that defines your focus. Your focus defines how you see the world. You are not at the mercy of distractions. You have the power to direct your attention, and when you learn to control your focus, you take control of your life. The mind is your most powerful tool, but few people are ever taught how to use it effectively. Every thought you have creates a ripple, shaping how you feel, how you act, and ultimately the results you get. Too often, people let their thoughts be shaped by outside forces, past experiences, fears, negativity, and the opinions of others. They live reactively, responding to what happens around them rather than directing their minds toward what they truly want to create. To shift your energy and change your life, you must take charge of your thinking. Your thoughts fuel your emotions, and those emotions drive your energy. Constantly thinking about problems leads to stress. Replaying past failures breeds doubt. Worrying about the future creates anxiety. These emotions don't just affect your mind, they impact your body, health, energy, and focus. The more you dwell on negative thoughts, the more you strengthen the neural pathways that keep those patterns in place. But just as negativity can drain you, positive thinking can elevate you. By teaching your mind to focus on thoughts that uplift and empower you, you begin rewiring your brain to function at a higher level. Most people think they can't control their thoughts, but that's not true. The mind, like any muscle, can be trained. It begins with awareness. You must become the observer of your thoughts instead of reacting to them. When a negative thought arises, don't accept it without question. Ask yourself, does this thought serve me? If it doesn't, choose a different one. At first, this takes effort, but with time and practice, it becomes natural. The more you do it, the more command you gain over your inner world. Another effective way to shift mental energy is through visualization. The brain doesn't distinguish between actual experiences and vivid imagination. When you visualize success, confidence, and resilience, your brain responds as if it's real. That's why athletes visualize peak performance, entrepreneurs picture successful outcomes, and high achievers across every field use this technique to condition their minds. When you repeatedly imagine yourself achieving your goals, your brain starts forming new connections that make those goals more attainable. Train your mind to look beyond limitations and focus on possibility. Self-talk